Medical College, Джумагулова И.М. We are going to speak about skeletal system. Plan: human skeleton, the skull, the structure of human skeleton, the function of the skeletal system, and tips for a healthy skeletal system. The objectives of our lesson: students will be able to recognize all the bones in the body, identify the main parts of the skeleton, describe the three main functions of the skeleton, and to follow the tips to keep skeletal system in good order. New words in the text: bone – кость, skull – череп, neck – шея, trunk – туловище, rib – ребро, chest – грудная клетка, cranial – черепной, facial – лицевой, spinal column – позвоночный столб, cervical – шейный, thoracic – грудной, lumbar – поясничный, sacral – крестцовый, coccyx – копчик, vertebrae – позвонок, cartilage – хрящ, ligament – связка, joint – сустав, thigh – бедро, forearm – предплечье. Human skeleton – the internal skeleton that serves as a framework for the body. The skeleton is composed of bones. In the adult, the skeleton has over 200 bones. The main part of the head and face is called the skull. The skull is composed of 26 bones. These bones form two basic parts of the skull, that is, facial and cranial parts. The bones of the skull are connected with the first cervical vertebra. The bones of the skull are connected together so firmly that it is very difficult to separate them. The bones of the skull form one large cavity and some smaller cavities. The large cavity is called the cranial cavity. The brain is in the cranial cavity. One of the smaller cavities is the cavity of the nose. The other two cavities are the orbits. The eyeballs are in the orbits. At birth, the skull joints are flexible and remain so until around the second year of life. The facial bones are smaller and more complex than the cranial bones. None of them is movable except the mandible. The human skeleton, like that of other vertebrates, consists of two principal subdivisions. These are axial, comprising the vertebral column, the spine, and much of the skull, and the appendicular, to which the pelvic and pectoral girdles and the bones and cartilages of the limbs belong. The bones of the trunk are the spinal column or the spine and the chest, ribs, and the breastbone. The spine consists of cervical, thoracic, lumbar, sacral vertebrae, and the coccyx. The vertebrae is the small bone which is formed by the body and the arches. All the vertebrae compose the spinal column or the spine. There are 32 or 34 vertebrae in the spine of the adult. In the spinal column, there are 7 cervical vertebrae, 12 thoracic vertebrae, 5 lumbar, 5 sacral vertebrae, and from 1 to 5 vertebrae which form the coccyx. The chest is composed of 12 thoracic vertebrae, the breastbone, and 12 pairs of ribs. The breastbone is a long bone in the middle of the chest. It is composed of 3 main parts. The basic parts of the chest is formed by the ribs. On each side of the chest, 7 ribs are connected with breastbone by cartilages. Each rib is composed of a head, neck, and body. The lower extremity consists of the thigh, leg, and foot. It is connected with the trunk by the pelvis. The upper extremity is formed by the arm, forearm, and hand. It is connected with the trunk by the shoulder girdle. The bones of the skeleton are connected together by the joints or by the cartilages and ligaments. The bones consist of organic and inorganic substance. The main functions of the skeletal system include support. The skeleton supports the body against the pull of gravity. This means you won't fall over when you stand up. The bones in your lower body carry all your weight. They are larger than the bones in your upper body. The lower limb bones support your body when standing. Protection. The skeleton supports and protects your soft organs. For example, the skull protects the brain. Ribs in your chest help protect the heart and lungs. Movement. Bones work together with muscles to move the body. Making blood cells. Blood cells are mostly made inside certain types of bones. Storage. Bones store calcium. They contain more calcium than any other organ. Calcium is released by the bones when it is needed. Here are some tips for a healthy skeletal system. Consume calcium. Calcium-rich foods include leafy green vegetables, broccoli, tofu, and fish such as salmon. Get enough vitamin D. Most people get plenty of this by spending regular time outdoors, but a vitamin D supplement can help those in areas that don't get much sunlight. Do weight-bearing exercises. These include things like walking, jogging, and climbing stairs. Wear protection. Always wear protective gear when riding a bike or playing contact sports to avoid bone fractures and other potentially serious injuries. Name all the bones of the skeleton. Thank you for your attention. Be healthy.